Welcome to another episode of Ship of War, my review of Immortals.
Ship of War. When ship happens, I'm there.
So I've been meaning to do a review on this film since I saw it on Thursday, but the problem is that this came into my life and then I just never took the time to review this film until now. Now, the way I would describe this movie is that it's the most well-acted, visually appealing movie with some awesome action scenes with the worst dialogue and story that you can ever find in a movie. Okay, this movie is the type of movie that I want to see where I don't have to hear a lot of talking, but more action. And unfortunately, this movie had more talking than action. Basically, all the amazing action scenes are a lot of the scenes you saw in the trailer. And there's only 3 action sequences, maybe 4, that I was like, wow, this stuff is so amazing. And yet, it would like go from these awesome action scenes to all this talking about this story plot that by the end of the movie, you don't even know why it even happened or what was going on, because there was so many different things happening within the story that you just didn't really care. And then it got to the point, like the last 10 minutes of the story, that you're like, what the hell? What was the point of everything that previously happened leading up to this thing when it could have been solved with a snap of a finger? And of course, you know, they can't do that because they have to have a story, but the story was crappy, so you kind of like didn't really care. And it was an interesting story, but the way it was handled was just dumb. Really, really dumb. Actually, there's a picture of me at this screening. You can check it out here. Yeah, that's me before the screening. I was exhausted, but that's pretty much how I looked during most of the movie when they were talking. I was just laying there wanting to go to sleep. And I think there was this part in the movie where I actually fell asleep in when they were talking too much, but then I woke up again for the action stuff. And that's what I was hoping for. You know, I was like, oh, I'm sleepy, but, you know, there's going to be a lot of mindless action and violence in this movie, so I'll probably wake up during the film. But no, it was like very little mindless action and too much talking, and I didn't really want to think during this movie. Now, for the romance in this movie, it was short-lived. It was basically they meet, and there's not really much of a hint that they even like each other or any chemistry, but then they end up sleeping with each other. Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, they sleep with each other. And yeah, so they sleep with each other, and that's pretty much as far as their relationship goes, because after that, you don't see a sense of them caring and loving for each other or feeling any type of more than that. Very short-lived romance. Oh, and the other thing that really bugged me about this movie was Stephen Dorff. He was the most miscast character in this movie. Actually, there was a lot of characters. It was so pointless, and there was like too many characters. Way too many characters in this movie. They weren't needed, but they were there. So Stephen Dorff was the most pointless, misplaced character in this movie because everybody else had like a British accent to the way they would talk. They sound so proper and everything. Even the kid from Twilight, the one that plays Emmett, he actually had a British accent, but yet Stephen Dorff did not. He had an American Southern accent. Yeah, he was so misplaced. It was like terrible. Everybody has like this proper British accent, and then he would start talking. He was like, rare, like, you know, the typical Southern accent. And I was like waiting for some like banjos to play in the background as his theme music or something like that. Terrible, terrible casting there. Sorry, Stephen Dorff. Okay, sorry, but you were. So that is all for this episode of Ship of War. Goodbye, and until next time.